We've got another offer from Iran that would essentially put us right back to where we were before the strike started, reopen the strait, and then we'll talk about the nukes, and I'm guessing that's a non-starter.
Yeah, Joe, Kaylee, great to be with you both. Glad you're both safe. What a weekend you both have had. Yes, let's get back to this story. So many things to cover. Basically, both sides are stuck. Both sides are pursuing maximalist positions, and what I think you saw over the weekend was it was not worth American negotiators going, flying 18 hours, and exactly as you said, Iran now is basically saying, let's pull that nuclear element off. Let's just now agree. Let's talk about the control of the strait. Let's talk about other things. The nuclear issue is the one key thing that President Trump needs to deliver after these 59 days, and with that off the table, it's just won't be acceptable to the U.S. side.
Well, so as time goes on, knowing that for now the president has said we will remain in a ceasefire, at least on the U.S. side, until these negotiations progress, do you think we could get to a point at which it is likely that the president is either going to receive advice or decide for himself that returning to a military kinetic option is the one that's most viable?
I think, Kayla, this is what we're waiting to see. Right now, I think the clock is about a 2-week clock for the president to really make a decision. With the price of delivered crude going up, you're going to start to see some really significant shortages here. Something has to shift this negotiation, and I think the president will want to make some strategic strikes, maybe the oil facilities on Harg Island. But again, all that's going to do is get us back where the Iranians are going to strike again. So I think we have to anticipate kinetic. But as I said, I think we're stuck until one side really feels the pain economically, just to a point where they have to get back to that negotiating table.
Kind of amazing timing for Iran's foreign minister, Araghchi, to show up in Russia to meet with Vladimir Putin. Where's the bad guy music for this scene in the movie? What's going on there, and what could this bring?
So this is such an ignored story by the White House, and I don't understand it. Here we have last year, Russia and Iran signed a 20-year strategic partnership. We know they're, the sharing of intelligence, possibly components and parts, because the Russians have made adjustments to the Shahed drones that are being used in Ukraine. That we are not addressing the support that Russia is providing to Iran, that we're really not addressing the support that China has been providing to Iran, ballistic missile parts and components. We have not gotten this alignment correct. And the Russian defense minister is in Pyongyang today celebrating that partnership. Wow. So this new axis of evil, China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, the United States has not addressed that alignment. We're dealing with them bilaterally not well, and we really got to get a handle on it. And Iran, like Ukraine, is showing us this alignment is working. Wow.
I just want to point out for our audience that the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was just questioned in her briefing about the Iranian proposal that had been reported. She said she didn't want to get ahead of the president, but that there was a discussion about it this morning. She said, I wouldn't say they're considering it. She also says she expects that we'll hear from President Trump directly on this topic soon. So we talked about some of the adversaries. I'd also like to talk about, Heather, what we're hearing from allies, including the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz today, who described what the U.S. is experiencing right now as humiliation by Iran, who he said not only is skillfully negotiating, but perhaps skillfully not negotiating. Is that how you would characterize this? Is this getting to the point of humiliation?
So I was really surprised by Friedrich Merz's comments today. He was sort of, doing some town halls, I think, in North Rhine-Westphalia, to be that specific about the American humiliation and that, we aren't seeing that exit strategy. While it is true, it feels like the Iranians are using, even in their weakness, their leverage. This doesn't help stabilizing the transatlantic relationship. And in part, King Charles' mission is that stabilization, that, look, we understand the difficulties here, but we have to keep our eye on the long-term mutual beneficial nature of this relationship. And what Chancellor Merz also said was the Europeans are really feeling the pain here, particularly an energy-intensive economy like the German economy. After the full-scale invasion by Russia of Ukraine, what did Europe do? They diversified to, Qatar LNG, American LNG. Now that is impacted again. Europe is feeling feeling the pain point, but explaining this publicly isn't helping. Let's work together. Let's get the strait open. Let's get back to freedom of navigation. Not the comments I would have said right now at this moment.
Well, and boy, it's striking to think back to the first week when Pete Hegseth held his first briefing and shamed reporters for even asking if there was a plan to reopen the strait or if they had thought this through before. He said, of course we have a plan, and now we're on day 59. With everything that we've talked about here and in our remaining moment, what are you watching for then in the days ahead? If you think he has 2 weeks to make up his mind on this, it's not going to be at the negotiating table, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're really watching, again, the control of the strait and who gives first. So Secretary Rubio, I believe, said today, like, it's unacceptable for a toll collection, a toll booth. Watch Tehran's conversations with Oman and how they're managing the strait. But right now, again, it is a race to see who buckles first, where's the economic pain point, and both sides think they have time and they have the edge. That's why this thing is just, I think, is going to be with us for a while, and everyone's going to feel the pain of it.